To another episode, The Business Catalyst, and the show that delves into the mind of successful entrepreneurs, innovators, and change makers. This is your host, Sadaf Abbas, and today we have a pleasure of speaking with Kim Korber, a seasoned
Hi
business
there.
consultant, strategist, and innovation authority. Kim has a wealth of experience in guiding organizations through the complex world of startup and innovation. Today, we will not only explore his career and background, but also dive into the topic of mindfulness and how to overcome stress during the startup journey. So let's get started. Hello, Kim. It's great to have you on our podcast today. And how are you doing?
Hey there, Ashraf. Thank you very much for taking the time and inviting me to the podcast. I was really looking forward to it. And speaking of mindfulness, I'm better again. Being sick the last 4 weeks, having children, being an entrepreneur in a high stress environment doesn't help when the flu season hits. So yeah, I'm back. I'm good, and I'm looking forward to our call.
Share with our audience your journey from being an entrepreneur to your current role as a business consultant and innovation expert.
I can. Um, I just basically quit university without a degree because I always felt like there's more to life than just uh, harvesting knowledge and puking it out at a certain point in time. So I started businesses. I started working during university and quit university without a degree. Had a fintech, um, closed it down. An HR tech sold it. Another HR tech, which I'm currently involved in. And through that journey, I learned a lot about innovation and about how to incorporate change into uncertain environments. And I think that led me to be a business consultant on the fly. It wasn't something that I've learned like from the get-go, but it really came natural to me because I was in startups. You always learn to adapt fast, to innovate fast, to pivot whenever it's needed. So I think it was coming naturally to me. And at the moment, I will never lose being an entrepreneur, but the business consultant basically is just a role on top of that and just a fragment of what I'm doing as an entrepreneur. And so I'm providing services for companies right now, from really startups to bigger corporations, and helping them being more innovative. And mindfulness plays an exciting role in this.
So, in the high pressure world of startup innovation, how important is mindfulness and how has it personally impacted your journey?
It's super, super, super important for longevity and sustainability of your journey. And it impacted me. I'm 39 now, and I think with the age of 30, I really started to value and to see the overall impact of mindfulness within my life. I always had therapy in my life because I have ADD. So I really early on in my life, I felt like there's something that I need to take care of in order to grow as a person. Then I became a husband. Now I'm a two-time father and being an entrepreneur. So the mindfulness part kept increasing in importance. And yeah, whoever is not looking at the mindfulness and the me within this journey will end up having a lot to deal with later. And the later you start, the harder it gets. So it was really an essential, and it is an essential part of my life, definitely.
Over here is that I am having a three kids, and my elder son is basically just a 1 year old. So you need to do your whole household stuff, your mother duties, and side by side you need to do the whole company operations as well. So
Definitely.
seriously, it's need to do that. You need to have your own time. So
Definitely.
you need to be in a very, peaceful mind so you can make perfect decision and perfect timing. So mindfulness seriously is giving me a new dimension to work on. And seriously, I really think so. Your advice would be very helpful for me as well because stress every time stress we are having on our table, and we need to see it and look it into, okay, we need to resolve this now. And again, you need to be very calm. Your
Yeah.
pressure need to be calmed down and then think again over again with a peaceful mind. Uh,
Yeah.
seriously. So I hope so. This podcast will be very helpful for me personally as well. So mindful
Hopefully.
practice very widely. Could you describe one of your favorite mindfulness routine or rituals that our listener might find relatable and easy to incorporate to their daily life?
thought about that question like a long time because I think as we as people vary from our personalities, also the mindfulness techniques vary from person to person. What
Person to
I
person.
found, I think it for me, it's really what was really important is structure and clarity in my life because life is overwhelming. And the more roles you add to your life, in terms of you are yourself, you are a partner to your husband, to your wife, to your partner, whatever. You are now a parent and an entrepreneur, a leader by that. You really need to take into account all these roles and start to get your life in order, but not in terms of like structuring it from the first to the last second of your day, but really just building time slots to focus on yourself, to cherish and to value every of those roles properly. And from time to time, it feels like all of those roles are kind of like overwhelming you with input and with stress and all that. So for me, the most important thing that I do is really my clarity sessions. So either if it's a Sunday evening or a Monday morning, I really try to take my calendar, to take all my to-dos, all my meetings in the upcoming week and plan them ahead and think them through in my head and see what's coming where, and to really block some time away for myself. And routines and a really routine full day help me structure my life and get more into the mindfulness. Meaning, normally I go to bed like at 8:30 in the evening together with the kids in order to wake up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Some people would say like, yeah, the 5 a.m. club. It is for a reason because at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the world is still asleep. So I can do all the cleaning up shit that came up from the day before, or planning ahead, or just reading a book, doing some sports, or just even if it's just some Instagram stories or whatever, but just to have some time for yourself where no one is really like banging on the door and saying like I have a problem. This will come during the day. But for me, it really helped to wake up earlier, to have a little bit of time for myself, whatever I need to do there. And for me personally, sports is the one thing that I really need in order to calm my system down and to be even keel and to being able to face my challenges head on, day in, day out.
Perfect. So stress is often the inevitable part of our startup journey. So how do you recommend entrepreneurs overcome stress, and are there any specific resources, book or tools that you would recommend to our listeners?
Again, there are a gazillion of books, of lists, of website blogs, whatever. I think coming back to the word entrepreneur, it's about doing something. It's come from the French entreprendre, to do something. It's really about trying and testing and really finding out what works for you, because the one method that works for me doesn't have to work for you as well. So really, it's all about trying and testing different method, different books. For me, as someone who's always like all over the place and like, ooh, new ideas, and it's super interesting, everything, I want to do it all at once. The OKR framework, objectives and key results, really helped me to structure my mid and long-term goals. So the immediate action really fall into place whenever you have this mid and long-term strategy for yourself, for your business, for your family. You can really work on that simultaneously within the same business framework for every part of your life, like yourself, your family, your partnership, your business. It really comes down for me to having those long-term goals combined with short midterm
Sure.
measures
Mhm.
and short-term tactics, basically. Um, yeah, that's basically it for my part. And if you're in a stressful situation, the one thing that I always would recommend is not reacting on the get-go. The moment you face stress, you face adversity, it's just about like taking it all in and taking your time to process it before you act. Because most of us, we're just in survival mode when stress happens, and then you just
Mm,
fire back within the measures that you've learned in the past, which normally are not the healthiest ones. So whenever there's stress, just take a moment, take a deep breath, take it in. You're the leader, you're the entrepreneur in the room. Just try to process this before you react to it. That is the one thing that helped me, that I'm not mastered at all, but I really found it very, very helpful whenever I encounter stress.
I need to add over here that I love Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I just learned the whole book, and I have created this book into the template. So if somebody didn't read the book, but they have the tablet, so they can what I call it. So making the whole strategy of the Rich Dad Poor Dad, we are we have done as an Excel tool template. So if you want to have a saving goals, you can just update that template on a regular basis. That's it. So that templates are helping out what will be your assets and what will be your liability. So it's really helpful. Okay. And second thing, I really love to read the Wabi Sabi book. This is a Japanese, written by English author, but Japanese book. And it is basically telling us that you live your life with imperfect situation perfectly,
Yeah,
right? So your
definitely.
life is imperfect. So you need to live the life perfectly to hold everything, either it is happiness, sadness, or it is stress, or your peaceful time. So everything you need to means take care perfectly with the imperfect situation. So this is a very good book, and really it is really helping me out in this the whole journey.
Awesome.
Kim, as a father entrepreneur, any struggle to balance work and personal life, how does your mindful practice help you maintain a healthy work life balance while positively impacting your relationship with loved ones?
I don't believe in work-life balance. I think it's a myth, especially as an
Yes,
entrepreneur. It's a
yes.
lot, and it's like saying like the one time you're living, the other time you're working. For me, everything is life. Work is an essential part of life, for that matter, and it's really important to not demonize it or alienize it as such. So for me, it's really coming back again to the things that help me the most. It's really about compartmentalizing and structuring your day properly. So there at 6:30 p.m. there's dinner. So this is where work stops. The phone is on the shelf, on the loading dock, whatever. And there's no business until in the morning. So it's really important to set those rules in order to being able to stop. Because as an entrepreneur, you know that business
Mm.
never sleeps. You can all there were times in my life where my wife asked me like, "Oh, did you get your job done today?" And I'm like, Kinda. What kind of job do you mean?" Like, it's ongoing. There is never an end. I could like work 24/7, but more so, it's really, really important to set those boundaries for yourself, for your loved ones. And to be honest, relationship is also like a business. If you treat it like a business, if you plan ahead, if you plan your meetings, I plan meetings with my wife. We have a shared calendar. Our kids have a shared calendar. So everything that we are doing works perfectly in there. And so we're always transparent and aware of the things that are about to come. And so we can plan our time slots accordingly, because it's also really important to take specific and just focused time for your loved ones. And with kids, I don't know how you feel, but or the literature says it perfectly. It's not about the quantity of time
Mm.
that you have with your loved ones. It's about the quality of time. Better half an hour without a mobile phone, without a call, without a laptop, than 2 hours being constantly disturbed by
Restricted. Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So same here. After 6 p.m. when my kids are coming after the school and their routine, I am giving them 1 hour specifically and asking them the whole thing. Okay, what kind of information they want to share with me. So
Yeah.
again, I totally agree with you that quantity doesn't matter. Quality is matter. Either it's just the 30 minutes or 15 minutes, but you need
Yeah.
to give full concentration to your kids. Either it is work as well. If you're
Mm.
giving the focus, and why? Because time is money. Money can be back at any time, but time cannot be back. You can't back the time. And we have a
That's right.
very limited time as well.
Indeed.
So back to the score. Mindfulness can be a very powerful tool for enhancing creativity. Can you share an instance where your mindfulness practice spark a particularly innovative idea, the solution of your business?
100%. Again, the me time, the undisturbed
Mm,
times, is the mo are the moments where I'm most creative, like during sports and not being um not being distracted by anything. So there are sessions that I do without any music or any input,
Mm,
without any reading. There is this, I practice this for some times, but it's really hard for me with having ADD. It's just the planned boredom, like really taking out 2, 3, 4 hours all by yourself, only paper and pen next to you and nothing else. No reading, no watching, no doing anything, but really trying to calm your mind down. This is when your mind starts to process and your subconscious comes to life, and the creativity that lies in every one of us. But we need to take that time out of our daily struggles in order to be creative again. And as every innovation keynote is always, when are we most innovative? When we're not working, not at the office, when we're walking our dog, when we're doing sports, when we're having a shower, when we're on the toilet. This is when we are the most creative, because this is the
yeah.
time when we're not
When we are
distracted by
thinking,
anything.
yes, we are basically doing thinking. We are not doing anything because our focus is not just the one task. We are
Yeah,
thinking, we are making a thinking process in our mind.
yeah,
And again, your thought is basically energy. And when you giving some specific energy to one thought, it is going to your subconscious mind. So your thoughts need to be very straightforward. Of course, it is very, very, very difficult to have a straight thoughts. So need to be focused on just one thought, and then your work will start
definitely.
simultaneously because your conscious mind is giving instructions to your subconscious mind. Again, energy is also a very good subject, Kim. What advice would you give to startup founders and innovators and incorporating mindfulness into their daily routines?
Do it right now. The sooner the better. And start small. Think big, start small. There are, like I said, a gazillion ways
Awesome. Huh.
of starting mindfulness, meditating, yoga, drinking
Hmm.
tea sessions, reading books, whatever. The most important thing is that you start and try to experiment. That is the most important thing. I've met founders, especially in the Berlin startup scene now, who exited like triple digit millions, and they're not with them. They're not happy because they never focused on them and never had those mindfulness incorporated in their life. Now, someone can say like, "Oh, they wouldn't be that successful if they started mindfulness." Yeah, but imagine you're super rich and not happy. What would you rather trade it for? Like being rich and not happy, or being happy and increasing your overall life
Wealth.
quality and your health and your wealth over time? I would always trade for the last one. So it's about really starting the journey and not giving up quickly. It's mindfulness is not something you incorporate on day one, and on day two
Hmm.
you have the results. It's a marathon full of sprints, like I always say. You have to try and test the things that work for you the best. For me, meditation, for instance, is a killer because my mind is working all the time. Like, because of my condition, I cannot shut it down. But when I do sports, my body and my mind are really like worn out, and then my system can shut down. So it's really depends on what works for you the best, and you really need to try and test. Ask the successful people around you, the people that you admire in their daily lives, and you say like, okay, what are you doing? Hit up people on LinkedIn, ask them what they're doing for their mindfulness, just to get a feel for what's out there. What can you actually try and test?
As we wrap up, could you tell us about your exciting project initiatives you're currently involved in and what the future hold for Kim?
That's a pretty good question, because I'm literally at a lot of projects at the moment. And the most exciting part for me is always thinking about a future of work where mindfulness is really like implemented from the get-go and is possible within business. So I'm really looking at the future of work from different angles. I have an HR background, I have a sales and marketing background. And the most exciting things that I'm doing right now is a nonprofit organization who is really concerned about the future of work and helping companies understanding the things they can do and providing the knowledge for them to being able to act on. And in my day-to-day business, the things that I pay the bills, it's really creating sales and marketing environments that are not hostile, because as we perhaps all experienced in the startup world, it's always about this work hard, play hard thing. And this is not sustainable. And this, you create environments by that really wear on people. So for me, it's really about creating environments that people want to work in and are intrinsically motivated. And so mindfulness comes as a given, basically.
Perfect. So also, how can our audience stay up with your recent projects?
LinkedIn. That's my channel.
Perfect.
It's hit me up on LinkedIn, write me a message whenever you want. We can jump on a coffee call. I just love to talk to people.
Perfect. So thank you, Kim, for sharing your valuable insights. His mindfulness into leadership and innovation. It's been a pleasure having you on this podcast, and we look forward to following your continued success. To our listener, remember the mindfulness is just not a trainee topic or concept. It's a practical tool. It is a basically long-term process. It's just not a short-term process. And make your big goals with the small steps. Thank you. Take care. Bye.